Hello. It is 4:47 p.m. I got a lot done today. I will go over all the fun stuff that happened yesterday, but first I want to do housekeeping for today, and also kind of talk about my plan for this week. Um, but anyway, we'll get into that. So first, I I woke up at like 11, which is better than what I was waking up at, which was 12. I want to get that down to like 8 so I can get done with all my kind of chore stuff that I want to do in the morning, in the actual morning, so that then I can actually go and do stuff in the afternoon. Um, but what I ended up doing is I woke up, I watched like one video. It was actually a helpful like what's it called, reader video. And then I ended up, um, I did Tai Chi. So I found a beginner Tai Chi video and I did Tai Chi for that, like, it was like 15 minutes. And then afterwards, I did some more freeform, like, energy movement using the principles of the Tai Chi stuff that I learned. I did that for like 45 minutes. I literally did like an hour of like Tai Chi basically. Um, Felt really good doing that. So I'm going to keep doing that. And then afterwards, I did what I said I wanted to do, which is this week, I'm starting writing every day again. So, I wrote like only like 600 ish, 650, somewhere in that word range on words. So, nothing super crazy. I just set up the kind of first scene that the main character is doing, and I really like the way it looks. And then, yeah, so I did that. Then I ended up talking to the new roommate. He's very nice as well. He's from France, and he, I don't know, we talked for like 2-ish hours, which, knowing me, this is kind of standard. And honestly, we probably still would have been talking if he hadn't wanted to, like, he's like, okay, I want to do stuff for the rest of the day, so I'm gonna go head out. And so he went and took a shower and then left. He just left recently, so um, yeah. So that was cool. He's a very like deep person, and so I've noticed the two people who I've interacted with here, both of them are like really deep people that have like, they're really open and they're willing to talk about really deep stuff. And I'm like, this is awesome. This is exactly what I wanted to kind of experience and see. So yeah, we started talking about life, and uh, he actually went to the U.S. at one point. He talked about how, like, there's two reoccurring things with both of the people that I met here. Um, they both talked about how America was very much like, we want to go to America. America looks so great. It looks so awesome. There's all sorts of like crazy cool stuff. Uh, America looks great. But then, the one person that I was talking to today, he was talking about how actually going there, he went to Los Angeles and he was like shocked at the amount of homeless people and about like just the like juxtaposition between, you have someone who is homeless sitting on the side of the road, and then right next to him is someone who's like, wearing like a suit really, really luxurious clothing walking past him. Like it's like totally no big deal. And just the amount of wealth disparity was like shocking. He also talked about like the wastefulness, and about how like large the portion sizes are, and there's just like the sugar, all of these like things that I've known for a while, but it's interesting to see that perspective and to visibly like experience the difference like firsthand. Where like every meal I've eaten, half of them were considered kind of like takeout food, but the takeout food is like healthier and better for you than like some sit down places in the US. And it's kind of crazy thinking about that, where it's like our food in the US has kind of just got fucked. And I don't know. It's like you have to consciously, like, you have to pay a ton of money to eat healthy. Like, eating healthy is not a cheap thing in the US. Here, it's like you're going to be really hard pressed to not eat healthy here. Like, you have to actively go out of your way to not eat healthy. And I imagine that's probably going to be the same in other places. Um, but yeah, it's kind of, and the the guy I was talking to today, he very much like mirrored that sentiment of like, yeah, like it's super obvious that like the food quality is just so much worse. He's like, I was not a fan. Like I just wasn't a fan, and I'm like, yeah, I don't blame you. Like I don't blame you. Um, Especially if you're trying to eat healthy. It's like, and then he also talked about how expensive everything is over there, where it's like you have to pay for everything. I'm like, yeah, like that's it sucks because it's like, you know, you talk about like, okay, well, we got like 10 different subscription things and we got to do this and that and the other. And it's like, your paycheck just evaporates when you're working. And yeah, it's sad that this is kind of the state that America is kind of in right now. It's kind of like there's also like an identity crisis of like what does America really stand for? Like what should we stand for? Um, because other countries, they have a very firm identity of like how they feel and stand. Um, but America's very young, and you have a lot of corporations that kind of have been pushing their agendas for so long, that you know it's not a surprise that you have all sorts of sneaky ways to go about making people unhealthy. And it's even the food that you suspect would be healthy, if you don't do your research, you might still be eating like pesticides and modifications that make it sugary or unhealthy in some way. So it's like the best food are the ones that you get at like your local farmers market, which, let's face it, you don't always get to go to a farmers market depending on where you're at. Some people have readily available access to it and others don't. Um, and so when you're taking kind of the lesser of the evils, it makes it really hard to make yourself healthy. Um, so yeah, so it's just something I'm thinking about. Um, but anyway, so we chatted for a while, and I won't rehash everything, but it was a fun conversation, and then that's kind of, oh, right. I also afterwards um, went out and took out the trash because so the way they do the trash is each number corresponds to a a day that you take out trash. So if the trash is full on your day, then you take it out. So so today it was cardboard and the like wet garbage. The It was gross. It was a gross wet garbage. Basically just food stuff, compost. And so I actually took the bucket with me because it was dripping from the bucket. So I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna just fuck up the floors. I'm gonna bring it with me. So I did that, and then the plastic, like I compressed it down. I thought about taking it out, but it's like it feels like such a waste of a bag if I have this giant bag and I only do like a quarter of the bag. Like that's how much plastic was there, even with me putting all my bottles and stuff in there. So I compressed it down as much as I could. It's like half full now at this point because I've compressed it. So I think it's fine to just leave it. The main one was the wet garbage. That was gross. So, um, yeah, but um, I probably didn't even need to do the cardboard one, but I did it anyway because I was like it was like half full. I'm saying the full bag was like half full, but unfortunately, that's kind of how those bags are, because they have like oversized bags for their bins that they have. So it is what it is. But yeah. So, and I will say both roommates that I've interacted with, at this point, like for a couple hours at the very least, or in the other one's case, we went to a movie and ate food together, and yeah, it was great. So, which I think me and the new guy, we do plan on doing something like that this week. So he's doing a lot of like visiting stuff, and yeah, maybe we can add him in the little thing and just do it as a group of three. That would be kind of cool. Uh, yeah, why not? Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll ask. Well, I'll ask later. Um, but anyway, also we exchanged numbers, so that's cool. Uh, he's a very chill guy. So I'm like, I'm not gonna lie. Part of me was like, oh man, is this the start of the A team? Because like we're all kind of like in a similar state of like, I don't know. There's like similarities in our kind of internal stuff going on, if that makes sense. So not the same, but just like I recognize some stuff. So building the Avengers or whatever it is, that'd be funny. But and he mentioned how he's eventually going to go back to France. There's like in the like center part of France. Um, there's an area that like he's like it'd be tough when it comes to speaking and interacting with people because most people probably won't speak English. But the countryside is beautiful, and if you want to like have like really delicious food and stay at a nice place, maybe it's not super expensive because it's just like a small village effectively. um so yeah, I was like, maybe I go visit there at some point. That would be cool. um but seems like they both like nature, which is a common theme that I've noticed. as you kind of do more introspection, you have more appreciation for nature. Not that people that don't do introspection don't, but it's just a commonality I've noticed. So yeah, so that's cool. Um, Let me talk about yesterday now, because I've pretty much covered up until right now. Uh, so yesterday, we went to this Korean place, Korean restaurant. It was really delicious. They had bibimbap and other food that was like looked really good. Um, they have their take on like a scallion pancake, which is way better. Oh my god, because it's more like a pizza with the amount of toppings they have. I say toppings, but it's like they put just a lot of extra vegetables and like different onions and different like I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but it's just like it's like a scallion pancake on steroids, and it's very good. So we had that. We also they accidentally misheard when the buddy was ordering, which oh my god, I'm just so grateful that he exists like here and that he didn't like decide to leave because this whole trip would have been different. I feel like he's like the anchor point for this part of the journey. And then, I'm going to meet more people, but he's like helping soften my like transition to here. Um I feel like it's like so intentional. Like he didn't plan on being here, but he did. I didn't plan on going here, but I did. The way I picked it, where it was just randomly, I just picked the first place because it just called to me, and I didn't like try and look around. It just happened to be that place, which is here. So yeah, and then having the guy like pick me up, it's a whole thing, right? So him like helping me order, that was great, but they misheard bibimbap, and there was something that sounded similar to bibimbap. I think it was a bibibo or something, bibibi or whatever it was. I don't know, but it effectively was like a sushi with crab, uh, and it was so good. So they brought it to the table, and we're like, "That's not us." The server goes back, then they come back, and it's like, I think you did order this. And so then we went through with the original server, and we're like, okay, we ordered this, we ordered this, we ordered this, and the server's like, oh, I'm so sorry, like I this is what I thought we were gonna order, or this is what I thought you ordered, not the bibimbap. And so basically I was like, you know what, just keep it here. Like, don't worry about it. We'll order this in addition to the bibimbap, which turned out to be the right play because we shared both the scallion pancake thing and the like sushi thing, and we were just at the right amount of full with that because I didn't know that the bibimbap it was just smaller in general, and portion sizes are just smaller here, which is good. I think that's just I think it should be like that. Um, but anyway, so um, so yeah, so we ate food here. It was really good. Um, the buddy again, like he really liked the soup dish that he got. It was kind of like it was on the spicier side for him. At least I think. Like or it's not that he was struggling with the just to be clear, it's not that he was struggling with the spice. I think it was like I would not have been able to eat it, but he got like a spicier dish is what I mean. So anyway, also I didn't realize, and I remember this being a thing, but I didn't connect the dots. You have to order water as a thing instead of you just get water. So I was like, oh, right. Getting water is not a thing. You order it. So I ordered the non um, carbonated water. And apparently the carbonated water is like there's a lot of health benefits to drinking it. It's just I just don't really like carbonated water. Um, Maybe I'll have to try it at some point. Like I had some carbonated water before I left, but you know it's not the same as like here. Um, so anyway, ate that, delicious. They also did. It was very interesting. The sides were different. Like they had the cucumber, but it was more a like steamed cucumber with some sauces as opposed to a pickled cucumber. When I say pickled, that would just be a pickle. Instead of a kimchiified cucumber, is what I mean. Um, so fermented, I guess. But then they obviously had kimchi, which was really delicious. And then they had the bean sprouts, uh, obviously one of my favorites. And then instead of the mashed potatoes, they did like a seaweed, which the seaweed was very good. It was actually kind of sweet, and I was like, oh wow, okay, okay. Um, but anyway, yeah. So that's basically we did that, um, and we're like, okay, we have. Well, first, when we were going to pay, he's like, okay, let's split the bill. And they were so nice. They were like, hey, we know you didn't order that food. We appreciate that you wanted it anyway. We're just gonna give it to you for free. And I'm like, wow. I didn't know this until after because I just hear them talking in Italian, and I'm like, what is happening? Because it seems like this is more than just splitting it. Like I'm like, oh my gosh, is it like hard to split the bill or what's going on? Um, but no, it wasn't hard to split the bill. It was just they were going back and forth, and he was like, oh no, it was really good, like we can pay for it, don't worry about it. And they were like insistent that we didn't pay because we didn't order it, which was really nice of them. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm going to give them a really nice tip. And then I just do the scan the card, and there's no tip option, no nothing. And I'm like, oh. And so I like look at him, and he's like, he just kind of is like, well, I think he knew that I was like looking to try and tip. Um, and so we ended up leaving. They gave us little candies too. The little, I don't know, it was like the hard shell candy on the outside and a little like juice thing on the inside. It was very good. Very sweet, but like it didn't like super overpower you or anything. And so I was telling him, I was like, this sweetness level is like, if you take like one bite of like a Crave cookie, this is like the sweetness level you're gonna get. Because the Crave cookies are so like they're so decadent. Like my roommates, we would cut them up into 4 little chunks and eat like one chunk and then be like, okay, I'm done. This is like good enough. Um, so because he was talking about how he's like, oh yeah, I'd love to like try like Crave sometime, and I'm like, bro, it's so much sugar. It's like, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna die sugar. Um, it's tasty, but also it's like it's just crazy. So anyway, we had like an hour to just do nothing. So we ended up passing the Coliseum. I got to see the Coliseum at night, which is really cool. I'm still gonna go there and bring you guys along so I can actually do like a proper, get to look at the Coliseum on the outside in the day, which is it's gonna be packed. The way he described the crowds is insane. and I'm like, I don't know if I'm prepared for this level of crowd. But I'm gonna do my best. So uh, but yeah, so we went past some historical sites as we're walking to the theater, and we kind of did like a circular kind of like arc route because again we had plenty of time. So sorry, I kicked a can, or not a can, but like the trash can for here. Anyway, yeah. So it was good. Uh, we ended up walking like 13 or 14,000 steps because I did 90. Oh, actually, I think I did. Yeah, it was like 15,000 steps. So I did like 9,600 before the rollover for the next day, and then I did another like 4,800 or 5,000. So it's like right around that in the morning when I got back. Um, so that was cool. I'm glad that I got exercise. And it was like it was still like 80 degrees at like 11 p.m. and I'm like, oh god. So yeah. Meanwhile, like it's like 90 degree, 95 I think right now. Let me see. Uh, just looking at like where I used to live. The highs of the day are like, oh wow, today's supposed to be, it's only supposed to get to 90. Oh my goodness. Okay, that's pretty cool. Damn, if I'd have known this. Well, that's fine. I'm not too worried about it. Where are we right now? It is 5, so it's 87. Okay, that's not too bad. But oh, I see. Okay, it was hotter. Why does it do this? I don't understand why it does. Yeah, it was like 96 today. Okay. But anyway, the lows, like the lows today are going to be 73, which is like sometimes the highs depending on where I'm at. So, um it's kind of crazy. But I also discovered that the one roommate that I first met, I got to like figure out a better way of sorting people out because eventually I am not going to be able to say, well, this one was a roommate as well. This one was a roommate as well. So I don't know. I'll figure out something. But yeah, so he ended up telling me that his kind of ideal temperature is like 80 or 82, 83. I'm like, I cannot sleep if it is above like 74. Like, I don't know. It's just like I get really hot during the night. And the thing is, it's like I like having a blanket on me, but that's like a weighted blanket of some kind just to feel the weight there. But also, it's like trying to be stay cool while having the blanket. It's a whole thing. So I found that like if I stay at around 70 degrees, that's like ideal for doing blanket plus, you know, what, like half in, half out of the covers kind of thing. I don't know. But anyway, so back on the walk. We see a bunch of people. We get into some really deep conversations. Uh, again, it's kind of like this guy knows more about me than most people do, aside from you guys. If you guys have been following and watching, like, the history stuff, um, then you know a lot about me. But uh, yeah, so it was interesting that, like, he's interested, and I get to know more about him and about all of his stuff, and yeah, um, I definitely want to ask more. Like, I want to learn more, because I'm a yapper, as you guys know. I'll just yap. So about deep stuff, but I do enjoy the yap sessions. So um, and yeah, so then we got to the theater, and oh my god, the theater. Uh, Turns out there was some issue with cleaning. We don't know what, but the cleaning staff had everything blocked off, so they're cleaning for like days. Uh, the movie previews are like going, and they're still like finishing up cleaning. Um, and he's like, "Hey, I'm so sorry. Like, this has never happened before. Like, I don't know why this is happening." I'm like, "Bro, it's totally fine, no problem." But we're sitting effectively in like pretty hot, like, entrance area, like hallway area. Um, and everyone was just like waiting. So people were finishing their popcorn and like their drinks and stuff. And so it was like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy. Um so yeah, basically we waited, got into the movie theater. It's like it's both bigger and smaller than I suspected. Like, the seats were wider and larger in general. They felt like a seat that you would find in your living room if you're sitting down to like have a chat. They don't recline, so that's one thing. Like, the U.S. Seats, they're like made of leather and they recline, whereas these seats are made of like, I don't know, like couch. It feels like the couch, like, they reminded me of like 90s material, if that makes sense. Like, they're like durable, but they're like kind of cushiony, a little rough texture. I don't know how to really describe it other than it being like, I don't know, a different way of making your seats. And it was comfortable. My fingers were having issues at one point where I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like losing feeling in these two fingers. I think it was just because my elbow was propped a certain way. Because I just had so much room. I was like, yes, this is like the king seat. Yeah. So, um, so that was cool. But the screen was definitely smaller, or it felt smaller compared to the American theaters that I've been to. Doesn't It wasn't much smaller, but it definitely, I could notice it. Um, like, if I was to sit in the front row, I wouldn't have to like look up and feel like I'm missing half the movie. Um, so I don't know. It could be a perspective thing because we were all the way in the back, so it felt smaller. But I've been in the back in those in the other theaters, so it's like, I don't know. I think the average theater in the U.S. is bigger, and it was interesting. He was telling me about how, yeah, this is like a big theater. Like, there are smaller theaters. I was like, oh my gosh, there are smaller theaters. Like, that's crazy. Now, to be fair, we did go up to I on rows, um, but we have like K, L, N, like we go really stacked high. So that's something. Um, Also, I will say the the height differential between rows was much lower here. So it's like I could actually see someone's head in the bottom of the screen if they were tall, which is like that hasn't been a thing in so long when I've been in a movie theater. So I was like, oh right, this can happen if you don't have high enough space. So again, all small things I'm just noticing. It doesn't mean it's right or wrong, better or worse. It's just, it's interesting. Um, Sound quality was fine. And then the movie itself was good. The new Spider-Man movie, I think it's worth a watch. Definitely not what I expected it to be about. I was like, wait, what? Like, and I'm like, they're tying it in to Doomsday and all of that stuff. I get it, but there wasn't like direct like, hey, Doomsday, but it was like there were subtle nods to like the upcoming movie. I think. Uh, so yeah. Um, I honestly, the time flew by watching this movie. So it was good. And then, of course, there was a part in the movie where it hit me like really hard. I was like, okay, this is why I'm here. Like, not that everything else, that I wasn't there for everything else, but it's like I've noticed whenever some spur of the moment thing happens, like, it was like, hey, you want to go watch the new movie? Like, yeah, sure. Um, Oftentimes there's a moment when it's like a clarifying moment that I'm like, oh shit, this is the thing that like is gonna be the main pivotal moment for me. And I was like, shit. I was like, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but like, yeah, I was like, oh wow. Um, so yeah, so that was good. Um, and then on the way home, we ended up doing. This is a crazy concept to me, but it actually makes a lot of sense. I just don't know how it would work in like the US. I feel like it could work like really well, but I just think I don't know. Like I'm not sure how it would work. Maybe just in cities. But so they have this service just like the little scooters in the electric scooters. They have cars that you can there's an app, you download the app, you upload your like license or permit or whatever, and then you can just for 40 it's like 40 to 44 cents depending on which whether you're like going into the city or coming out of the city, which again, really smart. It's like there are some I'll talk about the mechanics in a second, but basically you can rent a car per minute. 44 cents per minute. That's what we did going home. And this is in euro, so it's like it's more, but um so yeah, you just use the app, you take pictures of the car, and then it unlocks, and then you can just use it. And it's like, what the fuck? Like uh so you drive it, and theoretically you can drive it wherever you want, but they have certain zones where if you go outside of the zone and then turn the car off, the meter will still run until you bring it back into the zone that the car is supposed to be in, which is effectively Rome. So yeah, apparently all of Rome or most of Rome has this as a feature where you use the app, you look for where cars are, you walk to the car, you unlock it, you use it, and then when you're done, um, you park it in a designated area. And I say designated, basically anywhere you can normally park within the zone is like totally fine. Even if it's paid parking, doesn't matter. You can park it in the paid parking spot. Um, you won't have to pay anything. You just park it there and you're done. So um, apparently they have like a thing with the city to where you can do that. Now, I had some immediate questions of like how this could do a thing. First of all, the car was pretty fucked up on the outside. Like one of the mirrors was like ripped from the like the mirror still worked, but like the back panel was pulled off. There was a bunch of like dents and like the door didn't open all the way, and like it was like I was like, whoa, this is like crazy. Um, and so the roommate's telling me like, yeah, this is they do like every like 2-ish years they'll rotate out cars and get another set of cars, and they'll just keep rotating like this. Um, and some cars are really beat up, really fucked. um, but yeah, you just get it, you hop in, you drive, um, and that's it. And so I was just kind of mind blown that this is just the thing that happens, and it seems to work really well. Clearly, the companies are getting a lot of money out of it. You don't need an Uber because you have a car that you just pay for and drive yourself. Um, and yeah, that's that. Um, no idea what happens when you get into an accident. I'm assuming there's some clauses around it or whatever. But yeah, hope to never deal with that. Um, so the two things I was wondering is how do you get cars into the the most populated areas where you can get more cars to be like driving around? Well, the way they do that is by on the outer areas where there's less traffic, they reduce the fare and make it cheaper to go into the city. And so the hope is you're getting your car from outside the city and you bring it into the city, and maybe it only costs you like $10 or $5 or whatever, depending on how close you are. And so it's like you do that, and it's like, yeah, why not? That's better than the bus, because apparently the buses, the bus experience was fine, but also it was like we took one bus, it was late, and then when we got there, the bus that was supposed to show up wasn't going to show up for another like 30 or 40 minutes because they were also late. And he's like, welcome to Rome, where every bus is late. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So he's like, yeah, sometimes you'll get the bus from the previous hour or the previous bus as the current one because it's so late. So I'm like, wow, that's insane. Um, so we didn't wait when we got into the city. I know I hopped around a little bit, but I forgot about the bus stuff. So I wanted to talk about that. So we entered like the central part of Rome from we used a bus first. And then from the bus terminal, we ended up just going into the subway, and we just took the subway. And the subway, very similar in the way you pay and you leave. You just scan your card, you tap it, and then you do what you need to do, similar to New York. The only difference is they only have like two lines, so it's very, very simple. Um, so yeah, so the subway is like it's cool, um, pretty clean. Um, it was a little packed, but not super packed. And then I think the bus was more packed than the subway. Um, he was talking to me about how like, okay, this is like we're at the station where everyone gets fucking robbed, and I'm like, oh, great, awesome. Um, but yeah, apparently like it's well known that like the station we got off at Terminus or whatever, Termin something. Um, that is like it's kind of like a ghetto apparently. Uh, and so he's like, I don't really like this area, but this is the best stop. So we get out. He shows me like, okay, this is like our ghetto, and it's not bad. Like I jokingly was like, yeah, this is like an average like city or street in New York. Like the ghettos in New York are like way crazier, in my opinion. But also, it's like timing wise, like I bet it's crazier during the day because it was like in the evening. So, I mean, less people. I bet I would feel differently uh, at night or in the day. So, yeah. But, just something to keep in mind. Um, he was also talking about how that train station, the one that we got off at, Terminus or whatever, um, that place has, if you're doing like switching lines or if you're trying to catch a different bus or whatever, um, if you're trying to get some good food, they actually have a food court at the very top. And then they also have like a mall in the center that is, they just have a bunch of different stores. So I was like, damn, they did like a train station or a subway station mall combo with like a food court and everything. It's like, oh, that's cool. So, yeah, also convenient, obviously. But so yeah, so that's like we did that on the way too. So I got a little bit of everything. I got to see the buses, I got to see the subway, and then on the way home I got to see the car stuff. Um, but yeah, so back to the car stuff. We basically it was like a 15-minute drive, and it cost or maybe no, I think maybe it was more like a 20-minute drive because it cost like $16 or $15. Um, again, not bad. Like if you think about an Uber costing like 40 to go somewhere, or like 30, this is pretty good. This is a pretty good deal. And then in terms of the other question I had was like, okay, gas. What happens with gas? Well, if the car is low on gas, they have all around Rome, they have a very specific um, set of like gas stations that you go to. It's like a certain company that works with them. And if you fill it up there, first, you don't pay anything, it just fills up. Uh, they have like a thing to where it makes sense. And so you fill it up, and then you get $5 credit on your next like purchase slash drive. So it incentivizes people to find cars that are lower and then drive them, fill them up, and then you get like $5 off. So that's cool. Now, to be fair, I would not doubt that the meter's running while you're filling it. So, in actuality, maybe the $5 is like just a way to say, hey, sorry that you're wasting time doing this. So, I don't think it's like a strat to like stack up these like $5 things. But yeah. So those two things are the main things that I was curious about with this like business model. And apparently, this business model is very popular across Europe, where just Europe does this. So it's even better that I have this international driver's license now, so that I can in fact rent these cars and go to different places and whatnot, or do like a traditional rental um, for like a more long term thing. Like, oh, I'm going to use the car for a week, so do the rental for the week. Um, so yeah, we'll. Some parts of Europe, apparently, it's really good to have a car. So I'm glad that the car. It's like, okay, the transportation. You have the buses as your first line. You also have the rent a car. Then you have trains to go more long distance, and then planes are apparently really cheap, so you can do the planes. Apparently, you can do some as low as like $40 or $50 for like a plane trip somewhere. So it's like, oh my gosh, like traveling throughout Europe is gonna be pretty reasonable. And then they also have the late night buses where you can like sleep on the bus or sleep on the train, depending on like if you want like a slower train, see the sights a little bit more and like just vibe. So I'm looking forward to that part of the trip. But yeah, so I guess that covers everything. Um, Now, kind of moving to my plans for the week. So, number one, I mentioned to the roommate that I did the movie with last night. I was like, okay, now that you've shown me a trip you planned, let me try and plan something, and then we can go and do it sometime this week, so that I can see if my knowledge transfers over or if I'm going to struggle. So I don't know what I'm planning yet. I'm probably going to do, I mean, we're going to have some sort of food for sure. But aside from the food, I don't actually know what we're going to do. We're probably going to do some walking around. Again, I don't know. So that's future Tom's problem. Probably tomorrow I'll plan it out. Because I think we're going to do it Wednesday. So I'll get some input from him. Both the roommates are out right now. I think actually all three of them are out. I don't know what happened to the lady that is living there or living here. I think she works maybe in the weekdays, so which makes sense. But yep. So that's that. Aside from that, I was gonna do it today, but I don't think I'm gonna do it today. I think I'm gonna do it tomorrow. Um, I want to walk around and just show the general location I'm at. I thought about like, should I dox myself on this, on like where I live, temporarily? I don't think it's going to be a problem again when it comes to, at the moment, the visiting Europe. Like, yeah, I'm in Rome, but I don't know. Like, it's going to be another week before the video posts, and that'll be like the last week I'm there. Chances of like any issues happening or whatever, they're probably like next to zero. So I think it's probably fine. Um, I think it's really funny that both the building area is called 6-7, or it has 6-7 on the front of the gate, and then also the movie tickets that we got were 6-7 on the last row, and then it's just like, I don't know why 6-7 just keeps following me, but it's like kind of annoying sometimes. Like this one lady, it was actually so funny. We were eating, and the lady behind us says 6-7, or she says 67. Um, and we both look at each other, and we're just like laughing because I don't know, we just have brain rot, you know. It is what it is. So that was funny, but yeah, it's like I'm feeling really, I'm feeling good. Like my mind feels good. My body is feeling fine. I don't have stomach issues. I've eaten pretty much all the different like categories of food I could eat, um, and I haven't had any real issues. Today, oh right, I cracked into the like salad mix, the veggie greens mix, and it was good. I made a little plate and I had a handful of blueberries. I don't know. I kind of like the tartness of the blueberries now that I'm thinking about it. Um, but so I got the blueberries. I ate the rest of the grapes. So I'm gonna have to go shopping again. Um, maybe I don't. I kind of don't want to go shopping right now. Uh, but if I don't, it's like, what am I gonna eat tomorrow? Maybe in the morning I'll do the shopping. That maybe that'll be the thing that I'll do to start like. That's what I'll. Okay, here's what I'll do. Tomorrow in the morning, I will bring you guys along. I won't film in the store, but I'll film like the walk there and back. We can just have a little chat in the morning. That'll be fun. So, which it's almost 6, and I'm thinking, I don't know, like I want to try to fall asleep by 12 today. If I can, and I can sleep for the full 8 hours, that would be huge. Wake up at 8, do my morning routine, then take you guys along, then plan out the trip. That'll be good. So if I can do that, that would be nice. I keep wanting to. Yeah, there's like. I guess I'm using it right now, but okay. So I found out that the universal plug that I got actually does work. The problem was it didn't have enough voltage to power and charge the laptop, which is what I used to test the voltage in the first place. And I didn't know that it was even going to be an issue that it wouldn't be powerful enough. So again, didn't know. If I was to buy that again, I would buy the higher voltage one so I don't have to worry about that. But it does in fact work. I can plug everything in and it works. The issue is with the stuff that has the like extra little block, the brick that you plug in. Those bricks are in fact what you use for high voltage. There's a reason that there's a brick on there. So, or at least I think I'm saying voltage. I think it's voltage. But yeah. So also I have my external hard drive. I've been transferring stuff over because my computer's running out of space. So I transferred over about 600 gigs of stuff from all the different trips and stuff that I've done on this laptop. So now that's kind of the only place that I have it aside from YouTube. So hopefully this will stay intact and stay good and it'll do its thing. But yeah, so I cleared out space. And then for any of the 4K videos, I'll just directly use it on the external. So because I clear out 600 gigs of space, but that'll be like 2 days or 3 days of 4K videos. So it's like, I gotta bring it over to the external. Anyway, so yeah, I think what I'll do is tomorrow I'll do my morning routine, which is, it's Tai Chi and it's doing the writing. Those are the two core things I want to make sure I do. And I'm just going to let that be the thing for the week, that I'm going to just see how I feel at the end of the week with doing that. I'm not going to try and like limit or force a certain amount of time. I'm just going to kind of let it flow and see what happens. Because I'm pretty sure this is what I want to be doing in the mornings. So, yeah. Other than that, just trying to think. Yeah, I cleaned out all that stuff. I need some more nuts. Like I'm out of. I just got to go back to the store and get some more stuff. Big success overall on the like fruit. I will say the kiwi I bought 2 kiwis. The center was like harder than I expected, but it still was like good. Oh, right. I was explaining about what I ate. So I did a kiwi. I had the last pepper. I did some of the greens. I did 2 carrots, and then I had the rest of the grapes, and I also had the blueberries. So it was a really good mix of like fruits and veggies, and yeah, it was good. And then I had a handful of walnuts. So I think that was great. And so far, I actually haven't used the sunscreen because I haven't really been out for very long. And the times I am out, the buildings, this is like I didn't really expect this, but the buildings provide huge amounts of shade because of how tall they are. And so you can walk through whole streets that are just shaded completely. So, not to say that I shouldn't have sunscreen on regardless, but I haven't cracked it open yet. I'm going to do that tomorrow because I'm going to be doing a lot of walking tomorrow. But yeah, so just a little side thing that I noticed. Um, oh, right. I also got my permit, my international driver's license permit. Um, I got that today and ended up putting it in my this little guy. Um, so now this has like, God, I'm gonna be so sad if I ever lose this. I won't, but like, because it's gonna be around my neck. So like, you know, but I will say this thing, the backside, it's fine, but it also makes me sweat like in the front of my chest while I'm walking. And I'm like, oh God. So, it is what it is. But anyway, yeah, so I got my I have my driver's license in there. I also have my passport and I have the cards and I have the international driver's license. So, it's kind of like that is my lifeline. Um so yeah. Um I don't know. I'm everything's working out really well. Now I can't use the license until the 10th, because that's the day that they set it for. Um, so yeah. Um, I got to upload yesterday's because it was so late. So uh, after I talked to you guys, I ended up just having enough time to render it, but I didn't have a chance to upload it because I turned my computer off because it's been on like almost 24/7 for the past, I don't know, a couple days. Which is probably not good for the computer. I get it, but sometimes you just gotta have the computer on for a long time. So, yeah. Uh, and then obviously the SIM card is working really well. I'm gonna have to figure out like if I can make it like auto pay to keep the SIM card going. I'll have to ask the roommate about it, but yeah, things are going really well so far. And I think, in a weird way, I think this is like the hardest part of this trip. And what I mean by that is me adapting, learning what I need to learn. It's like really overwhelming. At least the first like day or two it was. And then being jet lagged and all that stuff. But now that I've kind of, I have someone that I can ask questions and get things set up so that it's going to be easier going forward. So like if I didn't have the driver's license, it'd be harder for me to like do the rent a car thing or, the other stuff. Like setting up the app, a seemingly simple thing, having it help is like really important because I can't read some of the stuff and it's a whole thing. So, by the way, it's 5:55 on the clock. But man, today was like a long episode, or long I say episode, a long day for chatting, being a little chatter. So you guys will be able to see stuff tomorrow. So I'm excited to show you. It's like it's just interesting, uh, and yeah, you'll probably be like, "Oh, I did not expect where you live to look like this." So, um, yeah, but so I'm doing that, and then I think Wednesday, I might film some of Wednesday. I don't know because I think, I've had this thing about like not filming when I'm hanging out with people, not because I don't want to, but because I think exposing people who aren't generally wanting to be on camera or who are they don't really understand the full ramifications of what it means to like be in a video. Um, which again, to be fair, it's like I have no way of knowing when things kind of change. But right now, it's like there's not very many people watching. But in the future, there are going to be a lot of people who are going to show up and watch and like analyze and do all that stuff. So it's like I'm still like wary about kind of leaking other people that I interact with. I don't know why. I just feel like it's really important to not do that. So, um, yeah. So I'm not going to do that. But if they're interested and they're okay with it, maybe we'll do it. I don't know. I kind of also enjoy just spending time with people without having to worry about like you guys on the camera. Which again, like I enjoy hanging out with you guys and doing these every day. But um yeah, it's just kind of like I feel like it's almost like rude. It's like equivalent to like having a phone out. So yeah. Also, you guys won't have my full attention. So I feel like the video, it'd be different. It'd be a different kind of video. And it's not that I won't do that in the future. It's just that the people that I do it with should be people who either already are doing like YouTube or whatever, content creation, or who are like totally down to do it. And if we plan it as like a collaboration where we're going to be doing something. So yeah. Um, but anyway, you guys will have plenty of cool footage of Rome. So we'll make sure I'll make sure that you guys can check it out. So um, yeah. Other than that, I guess I'm gonna let you guys go. I want to go and get the sandwiches. Ah, man, I'm so close to being done checking out the sandwiches. Um, I've done the three. I found my first favorite. Maybe I'll go back to the classic, classic, and do the fish with the like meat one. So I don't know. We'll see. I could just I could just check with Google Translate to see what the last one is. See if I'd actually like it. I mean, I still probably want to try it. Anyway, okay. I'm gonna go. Bye. Have a good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow for a little walking around. Okay, bye.